Hello there and welcome to my guide for painting Iron Man from Marvel Zombies. I'm going to be painting both the hero version and the zombie version. As you can see, the first thing I did was spray them with some matte black spray from Colourforge. I then went ahead and used some Mephiston red to start painting all the red areas of Iron Man's armour. This was followed by an all-over wash with some Carroburg crimson. Once that wash had dried, I then relayered the Mephiston red just to brighten things up a bit, obviously avoiding all of the recesses. I want my Iron Man to look a tiny little bit metallic, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 50-50 mix of Evil Sunz Scarlet and Iron Hand Steel for the first highlight. And this will be followed by a 50-50 mix of Evil Sunz Scarlet and Stormhost Silver. For the gold areas, I'm going to use Retributor Armour. This will then be shaded with some Reikland Flesh Shade. While that wash dries, I'm going to use some Rakarth Flesh to paint any exposed skin we can see. This will also be given a wash with some Reikland Flesh Shade. Once the washes were dry, I then relayered the gold with some Retributor Armour. The first highlight was a 50-50 mix of Uruk Armour Gold and Retributor Armour, followed by Uruk Armour Gold just by its lonesome, and then a 50-50 mix of Uruk Armour Gold and Stormhost Silver for the final highlight. I then used Flayed One Flesh to start highlighting Tony's skin. I then used a tiny bit of Carroburg Crimson on the eyes, then highlighted the skin with some Pallid Witch Flesh. On the artwork, the zombie's eyes are orange, so for that I used some Fire Dragon Bright. I then neatened up the suit, or the shirt that he's wearing underneath his suit with some Abaddon Black. And then I used the Abaddon Black to paint his goatee and his hair. I highlighted all of this with some Corvus Black. And for the shirt only, I did a 50-50 mix of Corvus Black and Eshin Grey for the final highlight. I picked his teeth out with some matte white, and then painted the outer ring on his chest with some Iron Hand Steel. I also did the inside of his hands as well. The arc reactor was then painted with some Temple Guard blue, as was his eyes and the repulsors on his hands. This was followed by a 50-50 mix of Temple Guard Blue and Barahoth Blue. Then Barahoth Blue just by itself. Then a 50-50 mix of Barahoth Blue and Matte White. Then finally a tiny little bit of Matte White just in the centre. On a human Iron Man there is a Stark Industries sign, so I'm going to paint that with some Grey Sear, which I'll then highlight with some Matte White. I'll then use some Abaddon Black to paint the letters and the Stark logo, to which I'll give a very subtle highlight of Corvus Black, before moving on to the concrete, which will then get painted with Dawnstone. All of the concrete will then get dry brushed with some Grey Sear. I'll paint the rims on the bases with Abaddon Black just to neaten everything up a little bit. The base will then get an all-over wash with some watered-down Agrax Earthshade. Now, this final bit you can skip if you wish, but I'm going to add a little bit of blood to my zombie Iron Man, and I'm going to use some blood for the blood god just to put a little bit of blood around his mouth and on his hands. I'm also going to sort of drape it down a bit so it goes slightly on the arc reactor. Once that blood is dry, that's these guys complete. I had a lot of fun painting both Iron Men. They're really nice models. I'm not really overall a fan of Iron Man in general, especially when it comes to painting, because I never know whether to make him metallic or not. I tried to go for a little bit of metallic range, and I think it really works well here. It only took around about 4 hours to paint the pair. And of course, if you've only got the core set, then it's only going to take you about 2 hours to paint the zombie Iron Man. If you use this guide, I really hope you did find it helpful, and I hope you will consider giving me a like on the video, maybe subscribe, and well, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much again for watching, and goodbye for now.